It's really a great pleasure to be here this morning. I'm particularly happy to be here because of the great entrepreneurial spirit that our students have shown in putting this together. So I really want to congratulate all our students who did so much work in putting this conference together and lining up such an interesting collection of speakers and panelists. I was happy to be here really not just so I could congratulate students for a job well done, but because of the particular content of this meeting and how I think about why it's so important and how it fits into our activities at the University of Chicago in general. So it's no surprise that everybody in the world is thinking about these BRIC or BRICS countries and what it means for them. And by everybody, I mean individuals, corporations, governments, and universities are thinking about this as well. Now, the University of Chicago, of course, has always been an extremely internationally oriented place. I was just looking at data the other day, and actually 30% of our faculty and 25% of our 15,000 students are non-US residents. So this is just one indication of the long-term international view of the university, but there really is a question about what is it you do in a purposeful institutional way to respond to what is the evolution of the global picture, particularly with the evolution of the BRIC countries. Now, we've taken, I think, a very particular approach to this based on what I would say is the following belief, which is that what one is seeing in these countries, and really more broadly in other parts of Asia as well, and certainly other parts of Latin America as well, is a very large-scale economic, social, political, and cultural experiment. In some cases, rapid evolution. In others, one can choose which word you want. I like thinking about it as really massive experiments. And these experiments are going to have an enormous impact on the world. They already are, but it's only going to increase. And what that means is that increasing numbers of faculty at the university, independent of discipline, are going to want to be understanding what is happening in these countries and how that has an impact on their work. And increasing numbers of students at the university, again, almost independent of field, are going to want an educational experience in which a much greater and purposeful attention and interaction with these countries is available. And for that to happen, one really needs a much greater exposure, not just intellectually, but physically. I think anybody who has studied any country or even been to any country understands that you do not gain anything like a full appreciation of what is going on without actually being there for a significant time, interacting with people in a significant way, building a set of personal or professional relationships. So our approach as an institution has been, I would say, let me say at least twofold. One is to start systematically creating much more opportunities for students within the college. The Civilization Abroad program, I think, is a perfect example of how to meld the traditional University of Chicago approach to education with these issues that I've been talking about. But also we have, of course, embarked on a plan for building physical facilities in other places, which will enable our students and faculty to spend significant time there, building collaborations and interactions with local students, faculty, businesses, governments, who's ever there and interested in interacting. So we completed our center in Beijing. It opened in September of 2010. Aside from being a wonderful opening event, the interest that we've had and the set of activities are growing rapidly. We've already, in this first year, had an enormous amount of activity there, and seeing the plans for next year make me extremely optimistic about the success of this. And again, I want to emphasize that the approach we've taken is really quite different than a lot of other places. We are not trying to see how many Western business certificates we can give out in China. We are trying to build substantive, long-term collaborations and give our faculty and students the opportunity to go and build these sets of relationships. We've been working on our center in Delhi, faculty committee chaired by Dipesh Chakrabarty from the history department has produced a report. They've been back to India a few times. We're exploring sites, and we hope to have a site selected relatively soon. And after that, we will look forward to building out a center in Delhi quite similar to the one in Beijing. For those of you who haven't been there to Beijing to see this beautiful facility, I recommend a quick trip to go see it. After that, we probably need to pause and catch our breath a little bit, but there's a very natural question that has been on a lot of people's minds as how do we think about Latin America in general, where we have, again, deep connections in multiple countries, and what should be the way we think about that. And in addition, the Booth School has facilities in both Singapore and London, and we have the college and division-centric facility in Paris. So right now, we have these two facilities in Europe, in Paris and London. We will soon have this tripod of Beijing, Singapore, and Delhi in Asia, and then we will need to turn our attention to other parts of the world. The one other thing that we are doing is purposefully expanding the faculty in areas connected to China right now, and I expect, though this will be the provost's call, at some point he will want to do the same thing with respect to India. So the provost announced to the deans sometime earlier this academic year a competition for a set of new faculty positions, not for China experts per se, but for anybody in any field whose work was in some way deeply connected to China. So we're trying purposefully and systematically to respond to what we feel is a very important set of global developments. We think this is important for our opportunities for our faculty and our students. And from my point of view, this meeting, this conference, fits squarely into this broader fabric of purposeful institutional thinking and work connected to the BRIC countries. So again, I want to thank all our visitors for being here. I want to thank all of you for being here. And again, I particularly want to thank our students for doing such a wonderful job in organizing this conference. So I'm sure you'll have a productive day, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks a lot.